really, at the end of the day, it's just a matter of a macro market. It's just what happens.
That's why it's really important to have a plan. Have a plan and understand what your goals are.
In fact, my camel out there is suffering right now with a broken back.
So I actually found Pepe when it was only a couple of hours old, and I'm like, oh, this is a funny meme.
Oh my god.
Yo! Who is this DJ?
The old man is swing trading over years at a time. And it's like, that's where the real money is made.
The answer is a permanent loss. With single-sided staking, you don't have to worry about impermanent loss.
If you're aware, if you're disciplined, you can hone that into further financial growth.
Financial freedom, so where you can actually live life and not have to be constantly living paycheck to paycheck. I mean, that's the ultimate goal, more or less, right?
What is up, my fellow D-Gens? How are things going today? I know I've been having a good old day. We are here with Maddie today. He is back for a second round because he likes us and we love him. So yeah, I mean, Maddie, what's been going on?
Thanks for having me. Yeah, it's that time again to have a community-wide conference. And so yeah, pretty excited about the Pulse Chain conference coming up here this weekend.
Heck yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I'm really excited for this Pulse Chain conference. I believe this is number 3, right?
Yeah, this is the 3rd Pulse Chain conference. And then we've had 4 years of Hex conferences as well. So
I swear you're like one of the hardest working guys on all of Pulse Chain and Hexaco. So yeah, alrighty. Well, I would need to introduce our lovely panel. So how's it going, guys? I'll start with you, Will.
Aloha, everybody. My name is Will Stevenson. I'm the traveling iron worker networking guy for the Roundtable, and I am currently cruising on Interstate 10. So this is going to be a stream and drive one for me. Life is good. Maddie, I'm stoked to be talking about your. So this is two separate projects, right? You've got the one for like the reverse sacrifice. You've got the other one that was the Nate. What did you say the name of it was again?
FutureUs.win.
FutureUs.win. So I'm stoked, man. And I'm also stoked for this Pulse Chain conference, bro. This is going to be kick-ass. Yeah. Hell yeah. Mr. Zenith, how are you doing, bro?
I am doing well. Just finished up a 12-hour drive from hanging out with Crypto Kool-Aid over there, talking to the Gift Tech team. But I am super glad to be back at the home base and stream with the boys and our special guest, Maddie ALLin. Glad you can make it. I know this has got to be probably one of the busiest times of the year for you. So thanks for making the time to hang out with us again.
My pleasure.
Alrighty. Well, before we get the show rolling here, I just want to do some community shout outs here. So, first up, we got Centurion 54X. Good afternoon, D-Gens. Then we got Brown in the house. Win no more poor. When you decide to put some money in. And then we got the man, Crypto Black Sheep. Bang, bang, D-Gen gang. Heck yeah. All right. We also got Fast Abdul. Where are we going? Should I bring a hat? In which, of course, Centurion has to answer. We are going to the moon. So absolutely love it. Looks like we got our favorite cheerleader in the house today. Hey, fam. Hello, Tam Tam. And then we also got Hex Glenn saying hi to all. And we say hello back. And then we got Benny in here. He's like, yo, look at these handsome faces. And I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about, buddy.
He's talking about this face right here. Talk about this face. Talk about that face. Talk about that face. Oh shit, you can't see under my steering wheel. And then talk about that face. All these faces. Oh, and I almost just ran someone off the road. You see it live, folks. I should pay attention. So I'm gonna do that.
We got Surfing Coin. Surfing Coin. I love it. Hey boys. Hell yeah. Alrighty, so main topic of the day, a really big event going on. Happens like once a year type of thing, right? And you know, I don't know, I kind of like the idea of this whole thing where it's like you gather up all of the streamers and celebrities, so to say, of a certain chain, right? And then you gather them together and you just start talking about things and putting ideas out there and getting to know each other. You know, if only somebody was so awesome to be able to put something together like that, you know, and there was an awesome chain where you put it on. Do you know anybody like that there, Maddie?
Well, look, yeah, it's no easy task organizing 100 speakers. You know, it doesn't matter if you're talking about crypto or outside of crypto. Um, you know, we got the YouTube game on lock here, and this past January, we set the world record for the most YouTubers live on one screen. We had 220 confirmed people who were on screen together in January. So yeah, I mean, like, it's really fun and exciting for me too, as somebody who loves to watch crypto content on YouTube. It's amazing for me to be able to, you know, call upon all the best and the brightest people in the world when it comes to Pulse Chain and crypto, and you know, have everybody be able to get on and shine.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed is that it's absolutely fascinating just how many people, and you know, like I've said, I love Pulse Chain because of the community. There's a lot of cool people here, right? Versus like other chains, other networks. I'm actually still trying to find somebody I can get on from Phantom Network onto here just to talk to them. It's like they're just all kind of off doing their own thing in their own little
phantoms.
Corner. Yeah, it literally is. Literally. So yeah, no, it's pretty wild though. We have a lot of people over here who are just trying to get like the word out and try and help teach others and all that. So
yeah, it's really incredible. And you know, the other thing that the conference does is it motivates people, whether they have been making content consistently like you guys have, and you know, you guys are always growing and looking for new people to stream with. And then there's some people that they had their time to stream, and now maybe they're gonna get reactivated. You know, we see K4K Crypto. He hasn't put many videos out recently, but he's speaking at the conference. And you know, I love K4K videos. I love all the people who are getting, you know, reactivated. Even if you haven't been making content recently, that doesn't mean you're not good at it, and it doesn't mean that you don't fill a niche. And so when you see YouTubers getting reactivated at the conference, that's a really good sign. I know that KDP said she created her channel after she, you know, got asked so many times to be in the conferences and stuff. She was like, well, might as well make a YouTube channel now. And she did, right? And then you've got people who have never streamed before in their life, you know, for this. And yeah, I'm talking about the Fire Whale. We got the Fire Whale who's going to come on the Pulse Chain conference on day 3. And yeah, it'll be the first audio appearance live of this solid Hex. So yeah, I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome. How'd you convince him?
Well, the truth is that I guess I'm known for bringing people together in a way that, you know, is like volunteering and building community. And, you know, my agenda is pretty clear. I like to put on conferences. So when I ask people, they almost always say yes. And in this case, I got the assist from Nerd Girl. But there are a number of speakers here that the Firewall is close to that are speaking. So yeah, I mean, it was, yeah, I think it was something that just came out of the consistency and reputation of the conference.
That's awesome.
That is.
Well, panel, you got anything to say?
Yeah, bro. I was gonna ask Maddie a little bit about the history of, like, because I know that you used to go to Bitcoin conferences and like just be friendly to everyone and also like inform them periodically about Hex, right? That's a big part of your past. How long before, or I suppose, so you were going to conferences a long time before you decided to start putting them on yourself, right? How long have you been doing the conference game for?
Oh, good question. So I was going to neuroscience conferences for a lot of years. For 7 years, I would present all over the world, doing brainwave studies on people who are quitting substances that they're addicted to. And yeah, so I knew of the scientific conference game. And then when I got into crypto, you know, I didn't know that there, I mean, like, look, when I got into crypto back, you know, 2016, 17, 18, in 2018, I went to a meetup for Bitcoin in Las Vegas. There were only like 20 people there. like our meetups, like, you know, and what everybody does to just meet up usually is like bigger than even Bitcoin was not too long ago.
Yeah.
But I had never been to a crypto conference when I started doing online conferences. And so it was just a fresh playbook, and you know, not super influenced by the model that these other conferences have, which now, me having gone to conferences, you know, in the past 3 years, I've gone to the Bitcoin conference, and I mean, like, it's full of grifters and sponsors that end up rug pulling you. For example, I have some sunglasses from a Bitcoin conference that say FTX all over them.
That's good. That's good.
Those will end up in a museum at some point. Hold on.
Yeah. that kind of reminds me of like those, you know how you see kids in Africa wearing like the losing football team like jerseys and stuff after they after they do the Super Bowl, because they print both sides and they just sell whichever one is the winner at the end of the game. That's fucking hilarious, bro. Hold on to those, man. That's good stuff. I fucking love it. So I think there's a Bitcoin conference coming up here pretty soon. I want to say it's over in Nashville. Are you going to be attending that one as well, or are you allowed to talk about your super secret plans or anything?
Oh, that's not a secret. I'm going to be going to the Bitcoin conference for the 3rd year in a row here. Normally it's held in Miami, which is like Miami sucks, and Nashville's awesome. So the fact that they're moving it from the official, this is not like a satellite conference. This is the official main Bitcoin conference, is being moved from Miami to Nashville for the first time this year. And I'm super excited. I fanboy out to like all of the OG Bitcoiners, you know, even if I think maybe they have lost their way, it's like, you know, they were still part of my crypto journey and influenced my thinking. And so like Safety and a Moose, you know, like, so there's people like that I like deeply respect. Robert Breedlove, there's you know, there's a number of them. And then there's some that I just like, I don't know, I just like them because they're influential, like Max Kaiser, Natalie Brunel, Anthony Pompliano. Like, I'm taking pictures with all these people and I'm like dripping in like Hex gear, and it just makes me happy for some reason.
That's awesome,
Maddie. I caught your stream with, I think it's Hodpril. I always jack up her name, but you guys were talking to that. There's actually going to be a highest of stakes table going to be there, allegedly.
It's a miracle. Yeah. The Bitcoin conference is super strict about like not letting people shill anything, but because the highest of stakes is a movie about crypto and Richard Hart is an alleged Bitcoin billionaire, I guess they decided that it would be allowed as long as there weren't Hex logos and stuff. And so, yeah, like there's going to be a number of OGs. When I did the meetup last year at the Bitcoin conference, tons of people came out, and it was really cool because our sphere of influence is growing, especially when we show up 100 people deep, you know, into a conference where, you know, I'll give you an example. So like, you know, I was trying to put on the best online presence possible for this last Bitcoin conference because my arms were still broken from this car crash and, you know, my clavicles. And so I needed to like balance, you know, like I wasn't allowed to just go walk like 5 miles. That would screw me up. So, so I was like planning the perfect location to do live streaming from. We did a 48-hour live stream, about Pulse Chain at the Bitcoin conference, and next door to me was Crypto Banter, and so it just so happened that like our minds were thinking so similarly. They were like, you know, scoping out like where's literally the closest place you can be next to the entrance of the conference, and so I got to meet like those guys, and you know, we ended up a number of the people who were going out partying and stuff making connections, funding Jim and others, they got to go, influence with some of the biggest people in crypto.
That is freaking sweet, bro.
That is
I love
awesome. So you did a 48-hour stream?
Yeah, there have been two. One was 46 and one was 48.
Oh, God, that's got to be
I get
tiring.
confused about which was which, but yeah.
After streaming for that long, I don't think I'd remember. I'd just be like, yeah, I did something. I don't even know anymore.
I did take sleeping breaks, but the stream didn't end.
Oh, okay.
There was that was the one in Austin, wasn't it?
So
or am I thinking of a different one?
Yeah, I think that I did two back to back like that. So there was during the Highest of Stakes release in Austin, Texas, and in Miami, we did it as well around the time of Pulse Chain launching.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because that's actually what Centurion said, is that it was way back during the launch of Pulse Chain. So
long ago.
Yeah, I would not.
Well, it was exactly a year ago. We know that because this is going to be the first launch anniversary of Pulse Chain on Monday.
Oh man. So because it's the launch anniversary, do you think something special is going to happen, or is this just going to be boring?
I've never seen a conference be boring because for some reason builders are always trying to hit their milestones by the conference. It's like even protocols I didn't like at first that became super popular would always launch around the time of the conference. So yeah, like I think that the builders, you've probably seen new stuff coming out recently that that's kind of timing the the conference schedule. But yeah, and then during the Hex conference in January, you had Godwell and the OA smashing the buy button. You had Richard's legal team showing all their cards on the fourth day of the conference. And then you had the Bitcoin ETF approved the following week. And so we had a massive price run up at the very end of the Hex conference that was like, I think we did like a 3x in that time on everything. And, that's just the core coins.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. 3x in your core coins. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
For like a couple of weeks.
I know back in that, we were still kind of growing at the time, right? And that the Hex conference was, it was quite significant for us, because before we had people on, guests on and everything. It's kind of like we were doing kind of like a steady growth thing, but after we did the Hex conference, we noticed that there was a big spike. It's kind of like, and I think this is one of the things that you like to try and do with these conferences, is bring people together, right? And
that's right. Yeah. Yeah, it's meant to be a sampler because I'm not the person who can tell you who the best streamers are. I just know everybody's welcome, and I know I like almost everybody that streams, and so this is meant to be a chance everybody gets to participate, and then the community can easily see in 24 hours. You can see 100 different personalities and decide who you want to follow going forward for the year.
Yeah. That still is crazy. That's 100 plus streamers. Do we actually have an actual amount here? It's 100 and
so the number of people signing up has continued to grow greatly. I started with 70 earlier this week, and that was before I even included people that I had to reach out to again. So, yeah, like it's, for the Hex conference, I counted, there were 100. In this case, it's going to be at least like 80 or 90, but we might reach, I don't think we'll reach an all-time high, because I think the all-time high is 120 for a conference, but maybe we will. Who knows?
Who knows?
That is a lot of people for the conference, but the other major number in my mind is that you're streaming for 4 days, 6 hours each day. So that's literally a full 24-hour clock of streaming. So this is going to be, there's going to be a lot.
It's going to be good, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
There's gonna be tons of good content.
I like it. I saw earlier that Richard Hart tweeted out that people should watch the stream and that he will not be speaking. So it is clear this time Richard won't be speaking, but he is still supporting the efforts and everything. So that's good to see. Made sure to retweet that earlier.
Yeah,
That's
totally.
kick-ass.
Yeah, thanks to him and everybody else getting the word out about the conference. Yeah, I think it makes a difference when like the richest person on earth cares. Well, maybe I should say like the richest person whose money is free, like because Elon Musk like can't just send $1 billion, like because all of his money is in fiat. He has to go like suck middleman D in order to like move his billions around. Like of the 2,500 billionaires in the world, how many of them do you think could just move their money around? Well, it's the crypto ones that can do that, and the not the OGs of Bitcoin and Ethereum mainly. And so yeah, I mean like does it feel good that one of the richest people in the free world is tweeting about the conference? Yeah, that feels pretty good. And it's a representation not just of me, but of everybody who's here, who knows what's up.
Even though Richard Hart has kind of buried his head in the sand a little bit, allegedly to the legal strategy of everything going on, it's still super cool that he interacts with the community as much as he does, and especially considering like we're kind of a bit of a ragtag group of Polskins out there, but he even takes the time to follow crazy people like this guy right here for getting a cool Quattro Synchro tattoo and then tweet about all the projects going on. So it's really cool that someone that high up is actually interacting with all of us. It's really inspiring to new folks than all the folks in the space that have been here for a while, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, Richard, he's a really good guy. He has spoken, I want to say like at 5 of the 7 conferences that we've done. And yeah, so I mean, that's a really big deal. That helps to like bootstrap the community. We are a diverse set of DeFi users. And so you're going to see people in the conference who don't get along, but they're still doing the conference because because of the fact that we're all here for, some of the same reasons. We got BitBoy, who's going to be headlining day 4, doing an hour of crypto stand-up, whatever that means. But yeah, that should be fun.
Talking about like comedy?
I told him, he has to show up and do 60 minutes of stand-up, and then that's where it has to start, but I don't care where it ends.
This will be interesting.
He'll come in with like one joke.
No, he's hilarious. Like he's been growing on me a little bit. His whole redemption arc is that's what we need Richard to do too.
That's true. Having BitBoy in the community has definitely gotten some buzz going on. I remember when we were hanging out in Vegas at Pulse Chain Tour, Ben was there and he was just getting to know everybody for the first time, and everyone was wanting to meet Ben, and we were having all these fun little interactions where it's like he kind of had like no clue who a bunch of the Hexkins were in the space, but he very quickly got to know everybody and very quickly started meshing with everybody very well. So it's awesome seeing him in the space, and I think like he's really just been running with it.
Yeah, he's got a Pulse Chain podcast. They've done like 6 or 7 episodes. I was in one of them. They had one with Fashion Coder, one with Crypto Coffee, one with RG3, and I mean like that's what I watch. That's like the content of his that I watch, and I mean like he like I said, he's growing on me. I was more neutral on him before.
Only neutral?
Yeah.
That's a good way to describe it. Yeah. I like that.
One thing I wanted to kind of circle back around to was a very interesting thing that you brought up about Richard Hart being one of the richest people in the world with their money being free.
Allegedly,
right? One thing that I've it just kind of popped in my head when you said that, because I'm like, wait a minute, there are times when I'm watching these wallets moving assets around, and these wallets are moving like hundreds of millions of dollars at one time, just around, right? And it could be in XRP, it could be in Bitcoin, it could be in anything, right? But it's the fact that there's that much, right? So if you, let's go ahead and say, oh, I wanted to take like $100 million or something out of the stock market. You actually have to go and like get that approved by a whole bunch of different institutions, you know, and then tell people like a week ahead of time, you know, hey, I'm about to make this gigantic ass move. And so you were like, it's really interesting when you brought that up about being free, because technically speaking, that's right. These guys, they can just move their money around however they want. stick it in something and start yielding, and you know, take that out. It's actually quite amazing.
Yeah, it gets to the question of, is the money really theirs? If they have to ask permission to move it and they have to announce it to the world, you know, that's not a free market. And history has taught us that, you know, markets that aren't free are worse than markets that are, you know, that are free. And so we'll see how that plays out. But there's new technology at play here. There was never a decentralized exchange before Uniswap. So you had Bitcoin that like can't be copied, right? So you stop double spends. So that's the first time you have a digital, store of value, a digital currency, whatever, you know, function it wanted to serve. But that's the first time you had something that, you know, was really free from a middleman approving it and still having value. And then you had to wait for Ethereum to come along and have the second best invention in crypto, which is smart contracts. Then you had to wait for Uniswap to come around in 2019 and invent, you know, something really cool with being able to even know the price of something. You don't even know the price of things in the stock market because it's controlled by market makers who provide liquidity, but also fix prices. And in Uniswap, the way that you know what the price of something is there's a decentralized smart contract that holds two sides, and whoever's providing liquidity proves what the value of the two things are because they set the ratio. And people can take either side of the trade, which proves that it's a fair price because the market will adjust by taking one side or taking the other. The market will adjust the price to what is the true price. And so you have price discovery for the first time in modern history. So Uniswap, that's the third best invention in crypto. And then, then you had Hex around the same time that figured out being able to store value over time, being able to pay your future self is how I put it. And and then Pulse Chain, you know, that's just a better Ethereum because you can't really do much with high fees. So
yeah, not only that, but I mean, I don't want to say we have more inventors over here. It does kind of seem that way though. Maybe it's just that it's so new, but I can tell you right now that Ethereum's gotten lazy. Let's go ahead and let's say that Ethereum's gotten lazy, where they had a lot of inventors, they were creating a lot of things, and then all of a sudden, you know, pumped to the moon, and now they're just kind of like sitting back and they can't even fix their own gas fees, right? And it's not until something happens where like the ETH BTC pair chart starts looking really bad for ETH, that all of a sudden Vitalik comes out of the woodwork and says, "Oh, by the way, we're going to do something now." You know what I mean?
Well, for what is it, proto sharding forever now?
Yeah, they don't have the right incentive to fix the fee problem. And I mean, maybe it gets fixed, maybe it doesn't, but you know, but the fact is that even with the validators and stuff having censorship now, it's just, I mean, like Ethereum, I still like it. Again, I'm calling it in the history of crypto in no particular order, Ethereum is the second best crypto invention of all time. And but it's not the last, right? So
definitely not going to be the last. I will say, I think Ethereum is definitely the second most important crypto invention we've had up to this point, because Bitcoin was store of value, aka proof of power, the original, the decentralized, and then Ethereum was where smart contracts came from. And I know that we just came off of the Bitcoin halving, but if you ask me, I think kind of the major point for the crypto narrative right now is kind of in Ethereum's court. Because Bitcoin halving happened. There's not going to be another halving or honestly any major news for another 4 years on the Bitcoin side of the house. So we're kind of waiting for Ethereum to lead the market for the rest of the L1s, or just make a big move, like either doing some sort of upgrade. I know people have been speculating that the Phantom team is doing the Sonic upgrade so that they can then move that over to Ethereum. But I know we were just talking about them being lazy, but I really hope they kind of get off their butt and go do something.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Yeah, Bitcoin was incentivized to not change, and yeah, so Ethereum now has met the same fate. But that's not to say, right? Because like Vitalik split off of Ethereum. He was into Bitcoin first, and that's what he was inspired by, and that's how he got his early riches. And so, yeah, like if it wasn't for Bitcoin, you wouldn't have had Ethereum. I think Pulse Chain, I think Hex, and what we're building over here, I think that's going to be the future. And but we have to see the support from the whales, from the builders, from the users, from the viewers, from the YouTubers. Everybody has to work together, which so far teamwork makes the dream work.
Absolutely.
That it does.
Absolutely. One thing, well, I'll go ahead and say this, and then we'll move over on some chats here. They're starting to pile up because you guys are going crazy in the chats. Thank you very much, by the way. You guys are awesome. Yeah, one of the things that I really like about this Pulse Chain conference is that it's like I like to look at Pulse Chain like a city, right? And then you've got like all the little buildings in the city that are being built up, right? AKA projects and stuff. And there's something really interesting happening right now where you get like the solid index guys, right? Atropa and all them, where they're like bonding liquidity and they're making like an entire web where it's just almost infinitely raises the prices on just about everything. But then like listening to Gifford and Crypto Kool-Aid and a lot of these like inspired PulseX buy and burns and things like that, it's almost like we're getting to the point now where I'm starting to get the idea that you should never sell your Pulse Chain ever, because it almost can't drop into a bear, because robots, right? Just bots, smart contracts are going to be buying up the coin and constantly making it, higher priced. And so it's an interesting idea that I was thinking about today as I was listening to this guy over here talking on that very complicated subject with Kool-Aid. But it was something that I find it very interesting, because it's almost like if that did happen, it would almost be like we're printing our own money, right? Well, what just so happens to be that is like, oh, okay, I guess we have over here in Pulse Chain, we have our own Fed where we're printing our own money. We are our own economy. So
we are our own economy. However, at the same time, you are limited by the energy that you put into the system. So like we can sit over here and just make 1 million coins. At the end of the day, the amount of like, I know you can think of like terms of like Bitcoin or Ethereum or US dollars, but at the same time, it's like you got to put in so much like actual value from the real world into the system to be able to then grow things or to incentivize other people to move the value in. Because I mean, there's a lot of good projects being built. I think it's showing that it's actually attracting people. There are cross-chain things that are going on right now. So I think Gophers was one of the first ones, because they worked with Solana. And then now if you look over with Crypto Kool-Aid and like the gift token moving to the IBRN contract, they're actually trying to incorporate ICOSA from Ethereum into Pulse Chain on the entire Pulse Chain network. So that's going to be a great way to kind of move a little bit of that value from Ethereum over to Pulse Chain and still stay within, honestly, the Hex Hedron ICOSA system.
What was it? You were saying something yesterday, Zenith, about the whole like energy cannot be created nor destroyed the thermodynamics principles and things of that nature, and how that applied to like price appreciation inside a token, whether or not like tokens are being burnt or destroyed or created or whatever. Like there's still people that have to put in you have to trade something in order to get it. Can you kind of sort of touch on that again just one more time, because I had forgotten what you said yesterday and it was fantastic.
Sure thing. Yeah. So on the stream yesterday, we were talking about the idea is like sometimes it seems like these projects act like infinite energy machines or perpetual motion machines. And in my opinion, this is opinion, not hard fact or anything, is that crypto still kind of applies the first and second laws of thermodynamics. First law is energy can't be created or destroyed, it can only change shape. And then the second law is entropy, aka you can't even get even. Your total energy, you will always have some sort of loss in the system. And in my mind, that's how I kind of see gas fees as the way that you will always slow down transactions so that things can't just like snowball and go infinite without extra energy being put in from the outside. So with the question that you asked about the first point, I totally forgot to make the second half of my point yesterday on the stream. I got lost talking about the story of Crypto Sloth when he made the 1 of 1 coin. It's like in 15 to 20 minutes, he by himself with like 3 wallets and $5, he made a coin that started at $1, and then he pushed the price point to $1 million, and then
4 million.
dropped 4 million, thank you, and then he dropped the price point to pennies. The point is that he did a lot with that system. However, no energy really entered or left that system. It was all self-contained, and he used liquidity pools and the orders to generate that price of the asset. So it's like you can make the price whatever you want, but if the liquidity is not there to support it, you will not be able to extract that value, whatever you want to define that value as, whether it's in like value in Bitcoin, Ethereum, or USD. These are your measuring sticks. You can't extract that value unless it's actually there because other people put it in and it's been cultivated over time.
But this is one of the things that I love about what Matty Allen's created with the time pays me thing is like when you talk about like the energy can't be created or destroyed, there's different like, or I'm going to change the word to value just to suit my little peanut brain explanation here. But like,
bingo,
time is valuable. Yeah, time is valuable. And so by using the time pays me program that Matty built, and I don't know if you were planning on talking about this at all, Nate, but like for the folks at home who don't know, the quick elevator pitch for what Matty did is he created a smart contract protocol that you can lock your coins up for, how long is it, Matty? Up to 55 years? Is that what it is?
Yes.
Yes, so you can lock up your coins, like whatever the coin, well, not necessarily whatever they might be. I remember I had asked you before if you could put any coins into the contract, and I'm not sure if that has been updated or not, but like there's a list of coins that you can lock into this smart contract system that you can either like drip feed yourself your own supply over like a super long set period of time span, or you could just lock up the entire supply, or like things of that sort of nature. But you can essentially like take the economic power out of your present self and put it in like your future self's hands, sort of kind of. So is that a pretty decent like summation of the time pays me thing, Matty?
That's one of the first ideas that I presented on Time Pays Me, which has like, it's like a whole tool belt that you need to like have superpowers. And like the truth is people don't want to lock up crypto now, which is fine. But like, well, other than the DCA people and like the people who are here long term, which like there are a lot of people who are in that category. But for most people, they want to get wrecked their first cycle and then figure it out later, and that's fine too, I guess.
Is it that they want to get wrecked, or they just don't put the proper safeguards in place to save them from themselves?
I think they want to. They're all masochists or sadists or whatever.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like I've got a better solution now anyway. So that's so it's fine. Like however people are is how they are. But yeah, like getting people to be more long-term minded, like, Bitcoin's tried that, Ethereum's tried that. It's, that's really important. That's really valuable. But it's, so it's really interesting to see like who uses Time Pays Me, for the feature of, paying your future self with any ERC or PRC20 token. I mean, like I would not have gotten a 2000X in Hex if I didn't time lock. So I would have gotten a 10x to 100x, somewhere in there. And, that's still cool. Like, both are cool. One's just way cool. One's just like 20 times cooler than the other, right? So that's fine. People can win either way. My first Ethereum that I ever bought, it was almost like I accidentally time locked it because I forgot about it. And then like I found the password written down for like years later, I found it. And so like I haven't unlocked it yet. It's still sitting there from 2016. But that one Ethereum cost me $20. I had to pay, $12.50 for the coin, and then Coinbase wanted $7.50. They wanted a 40% fee. So
yep.
Like that, that's doing really well today because the price of Ethereum is up near $3,000, right? So like if you find the right thing and you leave it alone, then it's going to do well. And there have been a lot of times in crypto where they found the right thing and they didn't hold on to any later on. So
yeah,
you're absolutely right about, as of right now, because of where we are in the cycle, right? People are like, oh, things are popping off, they're bouncing everywhere. Go in and get quick bucks, right? And then they go on Solana and they get into a meme coin, and then it rugs on them. Oh no, I just lost all my money, but I thought I was supposed to get rich. It's because they don't understand the game. That's the reason why I appreciate something like time pays me, is because what you're able to do is, for people who do have that. And by the way, these are people who go through the bear just fine. They're like, oh no, my money is crushed. Oh well, I'll just hold. Those are the longer term people. Those are the people that are going to look at the thing that you created and say, yeah, you know what, this is a really good idea, especially when I've been down and out so long that all of a sudden I'm getting like a 10x around my stuff, and it's like, oh, I have money now, yay, it went up. That's where, as you say, it can actually kind of save you a little bit, because all of a sudden you're like, crap, I can't take it all out, can I? But I want to make sure I pull out, just let it go. The next thing you know, you're getting drip fed, and it's going higher and higher, and you're getting more and more X's. And I guess you could say the euphoria is way better if you were to have done that, right? Versus, oh, I just sold everything on a 10x and continue to watch it go up.
We're at a point in the market now where people are no longer getting their funds stolen by centralized exchanges. But if you ask me, I think now is actually a more dangerous time in the market because of all the emotional forces going on. So we've gone through a pretty rough bear market for about a year now, even though technically, or last 2 years, even though technically we are in a bull market right now. However, a lot of the main coins are not pumping outside of Bitcoin. And then you're getting distracted by shiny object syndrome with all of the meme coins that are coming out, and everyone is chasing that next hit about what's going to be the next meme coin. So I think you have just people getting antsy from sitting on coins that they felt like weren't performing high enough, even though they are the correct long-term plays. And then additionally, they're watching a bunch of people around them get rich off dumb stuff. So they're thinking, okay, maybe just a little bit of meme coins, maybe just a little bit of moving my good investments to these speculative plays. And then at the end of the day, you're sacrificing those long-term gains for chasing that short-term high because you're just getting impatient. So like, stick to the principles and just remind yourself, whether it's something through time pays me or just writing down an exit strategy and a plan or a DCA strategy. It's like, save yourself from yourself. This is the time to be vigilant. Good things are right around the corner. Just hold. You're so close.
Facts.
Absolutely. Alrighty. So let's go ahead and do some more chats, because again, you guys are doing great.
Oh yeah,
over here.
Sorry, I took us off on a tangent. There we go.
Yeah, how dare you, Will? How dare
Thanks,
you,
Will?
I'm so sorry. He said,
I think it's going to end up being related to later discussions today. So
oh yeah,
That's good.
Well, I can tell you right now, there's no one sadder than Will derailing us than Brother 64 with his super chat of $5 Canadian. So great to see you, Maddie, on the show tonight. Cheers, D-Gens, and cheers back. And then we got Jason Smith. He says, yeah, RH said we should watch something. We should watch something.
Yes,
The conference.
we should watch the Pulse Chain conference, and that will be from Friday to let me see if I can count Friday,
Monday.
Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Friday to Monday. Look at that. We can do math.
Right. At
Heck
night.
yeah. All right. And then Daniel Robar, smash, like the smash button. There we go. I wanted to
Fucking
throw
A
that in
right.
there.
Goddamn right, Daniel. Good shit.
And
That's
then we got-
Daniel. That's Daniel. I think that's from the DGen protocol. He's taking the thing that I say on other people's streams, like smash or like that smash button, whatever it is.
No.
Oh,
that-
did he
that was
say it
not-
correctly?
That was not Donnie.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Or Daniel Robar? Daniel Lobar?
Robar. Yeah.
Okay. Fuck yeah, Daniel. Good shit. Go ahead and keep going, Nate. Sorry.
All righty. And then we have somebody who we may know in the chat here, Brendan. What's up, brother? He says, Maddie, what is good?
What's up?
Haha. And then Russ is just fire emoji because this is a fire stream and a fire guest right down here. Bam. And then, of course, Agent J, we also may or may not know him, which he is hoping that God blesses you, Maddie.
Hey.
Right on. And then Yellowtail, we need another fight cage hour. I would be all in for that one. That would be a hell of a lot of fun. I want to participate. Let's do it.
Fight cage hour.
Didn't we do a crypto boxing event in the past? Somebody, some like Hexkins Polskins did.
Yeah, it was.
I know that BitBoy fought someone.
Yes, I was gonna say if we do that again, somebody's got to hit up Boogie because that guy is always training. I know he would be so down for that.
Dude, that would be so much fun. I'm not even gonna lie.
That'd be funny though, because if it is Boogie, then that means he still has the mask on, so he's gonna be the luchador boxer.
Oh my God, luchador!
Oh my God, that'd be hilarious.
That would be amazing.
Yeah. And then last but not least, Crypto Compassion with hey y'all. Hey, what is up?
Aloha,
Compassion.
Okay, so wanted to kind of move over here to your reverse sack. Unless you wanted to actually go, because I believe that there may be a tie-in with Time Pays Me and then Future Win or Future Us.win.
Yeah, nobody really knows. There's like this puzzle that's unfolding, and at first everybody was really mad at me, but now people are playing along joyfully, so I don't know what happened.
No, wait a minute. Why were they so mad at you?
Well, because it started out, there's I'm doing a sacrifice for 30 days, and I'm only saying it's for the freedom to sign, like signing a transaction. And people are really mad because I won't promise them anything, right? Because that's illegal. So people want me to break the law. And then there were people who were mad at me. Get this. People were mad that I published an address on the internet. It's like the most basic, like, freedom of speech thing anybody could do. And I guess, yeah, like if there's somebody who's like rugged the community 15 times or twice or once even, maybe like, you know, that would be more sketch. But yeah, like all I did is I published letters and numbers on the internet, and people can send money to that address, and there's like some game theory points that go along with it. It's rumored that it might open up like just to any amount of what people send. Currently, the minimum is $500 and the maximum is $500,000. And there's some certain like game theory reasons for that. But yeah, so that's like, that's a sacrifice. You get nothing. You're on a list of people who believe in something, who are using free speech to make a political statement that you believe in the freedom to sign. And just like Richard Hart's sacrifice, there are no expectations, and people like being at the top of the list.
When I first saw your marketing and information for this, it reminded me, and I think you're going for like one of those augmented reality games. Am I off the mark there?
That doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, okay. So I guess augmented reality games, for the folks at home who might not know, is people do what might be a little like mini game where you like kind of like see things through the matrix, but they plant things in real life. So like previously it's usually like mystery or something where it's like people know that developers are going to be launching a project in the future. So the developers have built a little like mini game where they leave breadcrumbs in real life that the community has to figure out and follow. So like, for example, one of them was like a developer posts a website and then on the website it shows up, it's just black. But if you have your headphones on, you can hear like some tones and some pitches. And then it might be like a Morse code thing. And then the Morse code, if you decrypt it, will tell you like, might give you like coordinates for like a payphone at a certain time, and then the community has to make sure that someone is at that payphone to listen to it to get the next batch of instructions, and then ultimately it can lead to either some sort of like treasure or like a big reveal thing. But the point is that it's called augmented reality because you're playing a game using real life, but like sending these little codes and messages, but it's still using like narrative IP. So I've seen a lot of that be successful, and that's what my brain went to when I saw your stuff going on here.
Yeah.
So like I'm on the futureus.win website, and I'm staring at this thing that says "See you in the future," but it's also oddly spaced for the lettering. That might require some investigation. I'll throw that out there.
Yeah, that sounds.
I like
sounds
scavenger
like something
hunts.
that could draw you in.
This is AR augmented reality games are a big scavenger hunt. That is what they are.
Ooh,
Yeah. I mean, like they're definitely like, I guess I'm referring to it as puzzle pieces. Yeah, and if people ask the right questions, then they might unlock some new information.
Yeah, you got Zenith.
So that's
kind
of cool.
Getting it now.
yeah, and like so there was a lot of blowback just because we're in a different market emotion than when the sacrifices happened before. We're in a period where it's not euphoria, it's disbelief or depression, right?
Yeah.
And so that's okay because it's almost like you want to see who believes in something at a different market emotion. Like that seems like a valuable experiment to run. That seems like new information, right? And so yeah, like you have other sacrifices here and there. Like there's one for Pateus, there's one for 2 PHUX, and but they're like telling you something about what you're sacrificing for. You might say, but I can't really speak for them. But yeah, this is this kind of stands out as something that is very clear. It's a finished product. The finished product is you assign yourself onto a list. That's what the sacrifice is. So, if there aren't any more questions about that, or if there are, either way is good. And then we can segment that.
For the folks at home who have never heard of this before, they can find all this information on your Twitter, correct? Is it a pinned message? Is it something you've posted recently?
Yeah, it's pinned on the Twitter. And x.com/MATI ALLin is really the only place that you can get that information other than my YouTube and my Medium.
Excellent. That's all that I had.
Yeah. And the contract address, the send address ends in 777A. And it's going on from 4:20 until 5:20. So we're a little bit more than halfway through it.
4:20 to 5:20. Very clever. I like those numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that you knew the contract address, or at least the last 4, might be important. Maybe a little bit of a hint here on stream, guys.
Yeah, you don't want to be sending money to the wrong address. So if you guys see fake Matty Allens out there, or fake Twitter profiles, always double check things from multiple sources in multiple places. I presume that the same information is posted up, as you had said, on your Medium and on your YouTube as well, so people can cross-reference, all these things. So just make sure that you guys at home do your due diligence and you are sending money to the right place, because that'd be a damn shame for 500 grand to go to the wrong address.
And you can double check it too with the Ethereum name system and the Pulse name system. I have matching addresses, freesign.eth and freesign.pls. Those resolve to the addresses to the same address on both chains that ends in 777A. So that helps you to verify everything. And yeah, I mean, like, you know, there have been hundreds of millions of dollars like that's made it to the right address, you know, for other things in our ecosystem. So yeah, I think that people are generally, you know, figuring that kind of stuff out.
Cool. I am stoked to see where this scavenger hunt leads us. This is going to be an interesting future we've got coming up.
Yeah. So, are you guys ready to hear about the next topic?
Heck yeah,
Please.
let's get into it.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I'm like separate from anything else that I'm doing. I'm doing a free claim. So, you know, when I announced this the other day, that I'm asking people to give me a fresh wallet address as a comment on a couple different Twitter posts that I've made. I went ahead and I made a list of how many tens of thousands of dollars I've gotten myself from airdrops and free claims. And this doesn't mean that I'm promising you anything, but I want to set the context of like how cool it is in crypto that people do free claims and airdrops. So, are you guys ready for this list? I got my top 9 airdrops.
Let's hear it.
Let's do it.
2019 Hex. I got $16,000 is what it was worth at the top. I didn't sell it. I staked it. Love it. That's the only one on the list I didn't sell. Mimble coin 2019, $800. I waited for it to 5x and then I sold it. Uniswap 2020, $5,400, sold it for that. Well, for Hex. 2021 1 inch, sold it for $4,400. This is all free money for just using the protocol for like a couple dollars, right? Ethereum name service, $10,200, sold it.
Jeez, nice.
Hedron, estimated $80,000, sold it and bought the DeLorean. The Hex DeLorean. Okay.
Yep.
That was 2021. 2022, Pulse Dogecoin, something like $12,000. Sold it. 2023, Pulse Chain. I'm not saying how much, but that
wise man.
Yeah. And I guess that's the second one that I haven't sold. 2024, Gnosis Safe. I got two wallets that qualified. I got $4,300. Sold it for ETH. And then I just made this list last week. There was another one, Friendtech, I got this past week for about $1,000 of ETH is what I got out of it.
Nice.
So, yeah, I mean, you know, if you don't like free money, then, you know, like, what's wrong with you?
Don't create new wallets and don't tell Maddie about it.
Yeah, I'm
like
assuming
free money.
like you, when talking about like new wallets, you probably create new wallets for all of these airdrops, right?
Yeah, I mean, like I've got a lot. So last night on Game Theory Gang, people were asking me about this, and I would say I have about 300 to 500 addresses, because the best crypto etiquette you can have is to have a new address for each transaction. Now, in reality, you don't necessarily do that all the time, or people don't even know to do that. And privacy isn't some people's goal and this and that. But like, you know, that's the reason why I have such a long list, such a huge database of addresses. And within those addresses, yeah, there's maybe, you know, 50 private, you know, there's 50 different seed phrases or 40 somewhere in there. But yeah, I mean, like, if you had to write down 12 words 50 times, would you do it to get over $100,000? Yeah, you would.
Get pretty good at memorizing that list of like 2048 words on the seed phrase list.
That's
I
a lot of
mean,
work.
you want to generate it randomly, but yeah, like over my 8 years in crypto, yeah, I've you know, every couple of months, that would probably break down to is like making a new seed phrase. And that helps to insulate me so that, like one hack wouldn't take all my funds. And it also helps for me to qualify for airdrops. And it's not right for everybody to make a new seed phrase every couple months or something. But yeah, like it's worked out really well because I'm not somebody who just waits for other people to push the price up of something. I'm actually using crypto. And that's why I qualified for all these airdrops, is because I was using crypto in some small way. On Uniswap, I gifted a huge group of friends. I said, this was during the pandemic, and I said, anybody who will follow this half sheet of instructions to like create a MetaMask wallet, I'll send you $20, and then here's how you swap it into Hex. And that qualified 3 people for the Uniswap airdrop.
Wow.
And then they got, a $1,400 airdrop that now is worth more than 2 million Hex for the 10-year stakes that they did. So this is like the value of their stakes even now is like more than some of my friends' like net worth, and that costs like $20 and like, 5 steps of their like it took them a few minutes to participate in. So if you know somebody who is not even in crypto yet, you could onboard them into crypto by simply having them create a Twitter account and create a fresh address and post that onto my free claim. And then people have been getting airdropped 1,000 pulse, and then they go to timepays.me and they can see that they have 1 quintillionth of a Matty token. Have you guys heard about this?
I have.
I know about the free claim, but not the timepays.me part.
I do know about this, but that's because you discussed it on another thing we did.
I've been dropping clues. Yeah.
I was going to say, for the folks at home who might not know anything, what are you down to tell them, Mr. Matty ALLin?
Sure. Yeah. So Matty token, it wasn't created by me, and it was created by Funding Jim. He made 33 different influencer tokens as a social experiment, and he took 10 of the tokens and paired them with 10 DAI, and so they were worth $1 each. And he basically told everybody, like, it's not about getting rich. It's just about the experiment of like, I want you to understand that people can create tokens, and it doesn't mean that they're worth $369 million in market cap, like blah, blah, blah. Right. So like, it was an educational point that he was making. But so he's the one who like chose to create the Matty token, and I didn't have a problem with it because I love Funding Jim, and I've met him a bunch of times in real life, and I know he's a good guy. And so he ended up sending me the entire supply of tokens, and then as an experiment myself, I took like 1 Matty token and I put it into an address called sign.pls. And the experiment says that basically if I send 1 quintillionth of a Matty token to all the people who participated in the free claim, now they're on a list of users who have participated in something. And on top of that, they have enough gas with the Pulse chain, with the Pulse tokens, with the Pulse coins that they've been gifted, to be able to create a timepays.me vault. And nobody knows what the other benefits are going to be of like being on that list of users, but it's clear that it doesn't. You wouldn't imagine that it raises any alarms about like a security or something. Like it's not a security, because the value of 1 quintillionth of a Matty token is less than the pulse it takes me to send it out to people. And it's kind of like pointing out to you, like, yeah, you could buy 1 Matty token you could have a quintillion more than the people on the free claim list. But even if you sent that to your own wallets, you're not going to be on the same list of users. So people who are following along are going to be learning a lot about crypto. They're going to be learning things that they didn't necessarily know. For example, So you could imagine, like, maybe even though you only have 1 quintillionth of a Maddie token, maybe, maybe somebody could come along and, like, distribute something of value to that group. We saw that happen in Pulse Chain. There was a list of users who sacrificed, and then the 0x Coast guys came along and they did an airdrop. That's one that didn't make my list because it was only worth like $30 to $50. But hey, nobody's complaining about a $50 airdrop, to somebody who even sent, like $1 worth of Ethereum into the Pulse Chain sacrifice. And there are a lot of wallets that I've onboarded people, like a lot of my onboards, I gifted them $100 of crypto, and then I manage their wallets because they don't have time to. And there are a lot of people I've onboarded into crypto with $100, and suddenly their wallet is worth thousands of dollars because of airdrops. There are some airdrops that just like disproportionately help out the little guy. And so, so that's obviously a dream of mine, is to see thousands of more people getting onboarded into real DeFi, and for, anybody to come along and take that list of users and reward them, I think would be pretty cool.
That's absolutely fantastic.
That's super awesome.
It sounds like you've got a kind of like a whole roadmap almost like already thought out. And you're kind of like, okay, so this is step by step how we're going to go throughout the bull. And especially now, right? Now is that really boring time where, Bitcoin's just kind of like bouncing back and forth. There's no big rips up. It's no massive blood drops, right? It's just boring. And so for you to do a fun little thing, right? And then maybe like keep doing fun little things for people. It'll keep people entertained enough where they're not necessarily selling off the boring coins, aka the cores, right, for the shiny new thing, right? And that's kind of the way that I'm seeing that. Now, I can neither confirm nor deny that was sort of your thought process, but that's what it kind of sounds like to me a little bit,
It's, like the way that I think about it is me reaching into the past and like figuring out what worked, and then using my free speech to see if that can be done again.
I think it sounds like a lot of fun. Also, the whole mystery aspect is a lot of fun too, because you're able to like go exploring, So and there's some cool tools too. Like I have access to a batch sender, so I can send 100 people 1,000 pulse all in one click.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's pretty cool. And it's possible on Pulse Chain. It only cost me like $1 or $2 to do that. So that's pretty cool. And so just people following along. There's some people who've put addresses and their comment wasn't liked yet on Twitter, and it seems like there's like a couple hundred people who were the first to act, and if they got a like from me on their post, then somehow they got 1,000 pulse in their wallet, and they can go to timepays.me and click the button to create a vault, and then that like advances them to the next step. And I guess another important part of the game is like there's a difference between people who leave what they were given in their vault versus people who take it out. With the 1 quintillionth of a dollar's worth of Maddie, which is really like I call it a nan, not a number, because it takes more pulse to like move it around than it's worth. So like it's like a kind of like a negative number to anybody dealing with it. But if you wasted your money to like take that out of your vault, that would put that would not keep you on the list of users who have you know, been participating but not trying to extract value. So you could you could imagine like, you know, you can imagine other coins might come along and like test that with higher values. Coins that already exist. There might be coins that pay their users to have better security, because that's another thing that Time Pays Me does, is it allows you to undo a hack if you have a second seed phrase set up through the protocol. So how cool would it be if people got paid to have better security?
Sounds like a business to me. Creating software.
Well, this is how crypto is meant to be, is like, you know, people click the right buttons and now you're dealing in a system that removes middlemen.
My mouse clicks are better than your mouse clicks.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Alrighty. And so that's like your whole reverse sack thing, or was that the future .win?
So so it appears that people who participated in the quote unquote reverse sack, the quote unquote like DeFi game that is a puzzle that's like evolving and nobody knows how it's going to end. People who have been putting a fresh wallet address under my free claim have been advancing to the timepays.me product and waiting to see what happens next.
Well, awesome.
I know that there are some silly gooses out there that are going to want to use fresh wallets. Oh, am I roboting? I apologize.
Yeah, you're
out there?
roboting.
You're back
Okay.
now.
Am
You're
I
good.
back now, or am I still robot? Okay, sweet. My question was, and I apologize if I cut anyone off. But my question was, there's probably going to be some silly gooses out there that send money to this this protocol with a not so fresh wallet, Mr. Matty ALLin. Are there dire consequences, or is this just like is that more of a suggestion? What happens to people who do such a thing?
So if you post on Twitter your address and it's not a fresh address, now you've linked those two things together, which is your online Twitter name and your on-chain activity. And so if you dox your entire financial crypto history on Twitter, maybe that's something you already do. I have a public donation address that I don't ever send any money from any of my personal wallets into that wallet, because that would dox those other addresses. So like if people are giving a non-fresh address, they might be doxing themselves, which may or may not be an issue.
Gotcha.
For them.
Okay, so it's a security suggestion. That's a good suggestion for the folks at home. Yeah.
Different people have different goals with their address. So.
Yep. So there's some people out there who probably already have public wallets. For instance, if they use the Pulse naming service, they could likely use that one if they're like public figureheads or things of that sort of nature. So that's pretty cool, man.
That might put you ahead of the game. That might put you ahead of the curve, even.
Hey, there we go. Excellent. Well, that was all that I had on that. Go ahead, Nate.
So one thing I was kind of curious, and I wanted to ask this question earlier, but we kind of just sort of moved on from it. So I'll go ahead and circle back around to it. Which is there during the Pulse Chain conference? Is there a specific like panel or like talk you're really looking forward to? Like probably you might want to say your favorite one, right?
I mean, like I'm really excited to hear the Fire Whales speak for the first time. I'm really excited to see what BitBoy does with the hour of stand up and then kind of ending with whatever. And But I mean, there's always surprises and like gems that, just come from people who I'm more familiar with and hear from more often. It's really the combination of people that I think is going to stand out, because it's people who are in general they are, they would vibe together if they streamed. So.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, cool. Yeah, it sounds like we're gonna have a fun time with that then. But yeah, one thing, like, I know that Twitter has been like extremely dramatic.
Active.
Yeah, active.
Has it?
Say that.
I don't know.
How-
I don't know
how's
how
that?
to operate Twitter. That's a bug. That's a feature, not a bug.
Yep. 100%.
So
What's the latest drama?
It was basically I was tanging and B-roots or whatever. Some stuff happening there. So yeah, lots of fun with that one. But yeah, because you were mentioning how people were like they were disliking you, and now it's like they're liking you again, and it's because
It's a
you
redemption
explained it.
arc. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good things come in threes. You've got BitBoy's redemption arc, you've got Maddie's redemption arc, and then you've got RH's redemption arc.
Yeah, and so with that, like, what do you do? What do you do when like people start really coming at you, and it just gets like
I
stressful?
exercise and surround myself with positive people, and think about what the common ground is. Yeah, and then like I remember what like how I view myself and how people who know me view me, and how people who like even people who don't know me that view me as I am. That is always like it's really easy online to hear like one negative thing about yourself and 10 positive things, and then you only focus on the negative thing. So it takes practice and thick skin, but it also takes like knowing who you are and like having good self-care to be able to deal with the haters. And sometimes it's easier than others, just depending on how much self-care you're doing.
I'm glad that you mentioned the exercise and oh shoot, what was the other you go out and you exercise and do stuff. So like exercising like physically releases endorphins. That's one of the big like biohacks that I think most people don't take advantage of, is like you can literally go out and like do some jumping jacks, like do some push-ups, and you'll feel like 20-30% better by the end of it all. That's one of the coolest things.
Yeah. Your muscles metabolize stress hormones too. And so it not only releases positive chemicals, but it decreases the presence of stress hormones.
Yeah. Another thing that I like that you do that you've spoken about before is like not all haters are just, people talking shit. Sometimes people like actually have some, like their tone might be wrong, or their tact or whatever might not be so present. But sometimes, like I've found anyways, that like haters and people that are out there like making a fool of other people, actually like they have a good salient point or two. And so that like having haters also helps you self-correct to a certain degree. Like if a person doesn't have any haters, it's a sign that they're not doing anything successful, that they're not making big enough waves, they're not splashing around. And occasionally, I also learned this from Patrick Bet David, so big shout out to PBD, is that like occasionally some of them will have something to say that's like, oh snap, I never thought about that. And that's actually a good point. I'm gonna ignore like the negative part and just take the like constructive, well, it's not, they don't intend it as constructive, but you can take their criticism and you can turn it into constructive feedback, and then you can change yourself, and then you can actually grow, and then you can use that to spite more negative behavior from them, and perhaps they feed you with more fuel that helps make you better. Like if somebody came up to me and they're like, haha, Will, you silly goose, you've got spinach in your teeth, I hate you, and then they like slapped me and walked away or whatever, I'd be like, oh snap, I got spinach in my teeth, I better take that out or whatever, and then go about, and then congratulations, I have now like improved my standing in the world by not having spinach in the teeth and whatnot. So that's something that I learned from one of your streams a while back, Maddie. So Good shit, dog.
Hell yeah.
Good shit.
I'll be back in just a second. Can you guys keep talking about how you deal with the haters?
Sure thing. Yeah, take your break, bro. Nate, how do you deal with it? Or actually, no, Zenith, you haven't spoken in a while. How do you deal with it?
Do we have haters? I have 60 followers.
Hell yeah, we got haters, bro.
Dude, there's some I could possibly think that we have, or maybe some of the people that have shown up in the Telegram trying to like just really shill stuff like out of the blue, and it's just clearly a rug pull, and then everyone and their mom kind of just like trolls the people.
Yeah, there's been some YouTube comments.
Anarchy.
Yeah. YouTube comments are fun.
Like a homeless guy, I guess.
So they're not very well thought out YouTube comments, but people have criticized us before, and like, to be fair, we have changed some of the things that we do based on like some of the negative comments that people give us, because there's some stuff that they pointed out that was right before. So like, I can't think of anything in particular, and even if I could, I wouldn't want to name them specifically because of the whole like risk diode thing. We don't give people unnecessary attention or energy. We can just describe what they're doing and leave it at that. That's a big Richard Hart principle I'm fond of, is the risk diode, especially when it comes to like scammers and people spreading negative energy. But yeah, bro, I fucking love it when dudes hop in the Telegram and they try doing some silly shit and basically everyone shuts them down and sends them on their way. That's a sign of a good fucking community.
Our community is insane about that. I ain't gonna lie. Someone pops in there and starts shilling something right away. Basically everyone's like, oh, so why should we be interested in this? And everyone, all it takes is like, oh, because you need to buy it, that's why it's going up.
And it's like, what?
Every time.
Yeah, bro, one of the I'm gonna shout out, oh shoot, what's his name? There's a dude in our chat. Shout out to whoever you are. I can't remember your name because it's written in like hieroglyphics or webdings or something, but he
Crypto Chameleon.
Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, fucking Chameleon. Big shout out to Chameleon. He went and made a bot that like you just type in the contract address and it tells you the top 10 wallet holders of that contract address. So big shout out to that guy. I remember he was like, hey guys, can I shill some coins or something in here? And I was like, bro, who the fuck are you? I remember like, who are you and why should I care? And then he went out and he fucking proved it, like, hey, this is who I am. I'm Crypto Chameleon. I made this cool bot. And then like I used the bot and I was like, holy shit, bro, this bot's fucking awesome. So big shout out to Crypto Chameleon out there, going and making the world a better place. So good shit, dog. I don't know if you're watching this, if you watch our streams, but big shout out to you, bro. I love that.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, Maddie, I mean, is there any other topics or anything else that you want to reveal to people?
Well, so here's one that is hard to believe. So did you know that you can be sent tokens to an address that you'll control in the future that doesn't exist
Ooh.
yet?
What?
That is
how does that work?
I remember hearing you hint about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
can you say that again? You'll be sent tokens to an address
like,
that you'll control in the future?
Yeah.
So you get tokens even though you don't have access to the address, like where they're gonna be.
Yeah. So all right, so let's take an example. So let's say you give me a fresh wallet address, and let's say somebody gave me like $10,000 and they were like, hey, pass it on. And so I could send it to an address that is the future vault address of your fresh wallet.
Oh, I think correct me if I'm wrong here, but when you do the time pays me thing and someone tries to hack your wallet, it can send coins to that second address, right? When they try and hack your wallet, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Is it similar concept?
Yeah, it's somewhat related. So basically,
okay.
Yeah, that's another benefit of having an address that lives inside of your address. But because it's a smart contract, and because because the time pays me protocol, this is just a magic trick in blockchain, is that I can send to an address that you can choose to create in the future. It's your vault address, and it's the way that we know what the vault address is that it's based on the hashing function, the cryptographic function of taking your primary address and predicting what the vault address will be. And it's it's called prediction, but it's like it's 100% mathematically true because we're dealing with mathematical proofs here. It's like there's zero chance of error that the smart contract will tell us the wrong address, the wrong future address of somebody. But it's just it's like it's something that it's new. It doesn't nobody's talking about this because it's one of the many inventions within Time Pays Me.
So the traditional wisdom for crypto security is that, I think we've even asked RG3 about this straight up, which is can I make a new crypto wallet, go stake Hex in it, and then give that wallet to my cousin or something? And the answer is no, don't do that, because that it compromises the seed phrases, because you have to have them and then you have to give them to someone else, as opposed to only ever having sole custody. So it sounds like the thing that you're talking about here is not that, because
that problem has been solved too. Good question. All right, you get to unlock the next level. So
nice.
All right, so and maybe I went into this a little bit in Hot Pearl's stream, but I have onboarded people into Hex using these wallets that are made by the guy who invented the Bitcoin logo. And talk about somebody who doesn't need to run away with your money. The guy who was buying Bitcoin at sub $1, and who invented the logo with the circuits on it and stuff. That dude seems like he's pretty much set for life. But
is he a public figure?
He's the founder of coldstoragecoins.com that I've interacted with since I was starting in crypto. And
hell yeah.
So this is a 1 ounce copper coin. It's fireproof. It's got a private key engraved inside of it, and it makes the perfect gift. So I can open up the tamper-proof seal. I can load the private key onto my computer. I can stake $100 of Hex for somebody, and then I can gift them the coin. And now, Richard Hart always says, if you're gifting somebody crypto, you have to keep a copy of the private key because they're going to lose it. So that's what I've done with a lot of my onboards. And then some of them learn how to do their own thing, and that's great. At least I got them started and I could move on. The cool thing about the Time Pays Me protocol that we invented is that it solves the problem that I really can't trust the guy who created the private key for this. Even though I like him and he's a Bitcoin bazillionaire, it's still not good practice to trust him. So, I could never, really be confident because I didn't create the seed word myself. I didn't create the private key, that it's a bad idea. It's like the easiest way to onboard somebody. It's faster than Bitcoin. It's faster than anything, is to just hand them a coin with a 15-year stake on it and say, don't lose this. Right? And then I can manage their airdrops and grow it for them, whatever. So that's pretty cool. But the thing that Time Pays Me does, and I gave one of these to Lamont Black, the guy from the Highest of Stakes, because I met him in person and I gave him one. I also gave a Hex stake to somebody that has over 5 million followers on Twitter, and I still have never said who that is, and I'm keeping it a secret because Hexicans be dramatic out here. But But so,
Don't say it's
yeah,
an
so-
anywho.
Maddie, if you don't mind, so the thing I talked about previously, like don't make a wallet and give it to someone else. So Time Pays Me is not doing that. When we look at the Time Pays Me thing that you're doing though, which is that, so theoretically, this only works with someone already has a wallet, aka like, I don't know, a fresh address or something like that. So if they have control of that person started off with their own seed phrase. They are the only one that knows that seed phrase. So this gets into encryption for folks that might not follow me. Encryption is mathematical proofs or sometimes fractals or geometrics. What that means is that certain laws will always be true. You can start to do things like one-sided proofs or no trust proofs, which is that imagine that you have some sort of black box machine on a table, and then you and some other person across from a poker table each have like 5 cards. You show the cards to the box, no one else, and then the box will give you a thumbs up or thumbs down as to whether that handshake is good or not. So with something like that, you're saying that we can use the public address of your clean wallet and then use the mathematical proof to create we're predicting a new wallet based on that previous key. So
It'd be some kind of randomizer, I would think.
These are two separate things. These are two different magic tricks. Yeah, but they're connected in the sense of taking custody. So I'm almost there, and then maybe it'll make sense.
Sorry to interrupt.
Maybe it'll still be convoluted. But so Lamont Black, I hand him one of these coins, and it's got a Time Pays Me vault in it because I've upgraded the setup now. So instead of me having to manage his wallet and him never being able to take self-custody of it, because I gifted him $100 of Hex that was put into Dace, which is a 10-year recurring Hex stake, and because I time-locked it for him for not 15 years, but 20 years, like a bond in the traditional market, now he can get paid every week from his coin if he chooses to, because of the Time Pays Me payout schedule. He could drip it to himself weekly, or he could just wait, any amount of time. He could wait until the 20 years are up, right? So any time in the next 20 years, that amount of money, that amount of Hex might, if it does as well as Bitcoin or Ethereum, it could be worth more than his house someday, right? Like that's a thing in crypto. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's possible. And, so he would, that could be bigger than his paycheck at DePaul University. Because we know he's not going to sell it. He's not going to be able to sell 100% of it in a year from now because it's on a drip. So that's really cool that I can gift him a 20-year Hex stake, and he can realize value from that all along the way. And he can't emergency end stake it. What?
It's kind of like a trust, right?
Kind of like a trust. And but the coolest part that's new is that he can choose to take custody of it at any time by creating a second seed phrase, setting his second seed phrase as the recovery address, and then cutting me out of the equation. So he could put the vault into panic mode, and then now he has a second seed phrase that controls the vault, and the guy who made the private key on this coin and myself that has a copy of the private key could no longer access that. So he would be able to take self-custody of a seed phrase that didn't start off as self-custody. So this is, I think it's hard for a lot of people to understand, but this is like a major onboarding leap forward, because you could print a private key on 20,000 people's ticket when they're going to a Bulls game, when they're going to a basketball game. You could print 20,000 different QR codes on people's tickets, and you could take $5 of their ticket price, you could put it into Pulse, and then whoever participates in like claiming it for themselves, taking self-custody, then they could, then they benefit from it. And if, people don't do that, then maybe the funds could get swept back into the treasury. But there's a lot of really cool things you can do with getting new people into crypto when you can worry about self-custody later and pay people to do self-custody. That's a huge motivation, I think.
Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong on this. So it sounds like you're pretty much, it is not the concept of I am in the moment sending tokens to an address. That address is going to be open in the future and the token's already there.
That's the second magic trick, or the first, depending on what order we're going in.
Yeah,
Okay,
if I'm
so
understanding this correctly, it's not. This isn't the future one. What this one here you're talking about is how you can give somebody a gift of crypto, and then also take out the risk factor of the seed phrases, right? And you would do that by quite literally having the door right here, and then but there's another door over here, and say, hey, by the way, just go over to this door instead. Kind of like that, right?
Yeah, in the future, they can claim self-custody of something that didn't start off as self-custody. And that's by setting up the second seed phrase in Time Pays Me.
And then that puts in time.
Yeah. And then there's this second magic trick of like, I could send people based on their primary address, I could send people tokens that then they would have to claim by creating a vault, but I already know the vault address before they've created it. So that's kind of cool on the blockchain, like to be able to do these two different magic tricks, because this is how you're going to get 1 billion people into crypto, is by making it as easy as a QR code and as secure as self-custody.
Do these magic tricks require
Zenith,
the person to have a pre-existing wallet? Or can you do this with a fresh person, like zero crypto wallet, zero crypto history?
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could print it on a sports ticket, and you could do it that way.
Okay, so as long as the person has physical custody of whatever device widget you want to use,
you could do it. You could do it in an email. You could send out 500 million emails with a private key.
So whatever it is, whoever holds that redeemable code effectively holds that wallet.
Yeah.
Okay, so theoretically, if someone lost the code or it was intercepted somehow, then the ownership of that wallet would be compromised.
I mean, or you could just recall it from like the person who gifted it in the first place.
Okay, so if that physical item, or an email in this case, is compromised, then the original sender can revoke the contract. This kind of sounds like an escrow or something, where it's like you kind of put it in
I mean,
limbo.
like people talk about escrow. Escrow involves like a middleman. Like I'm just like
the middleman
Time
in this case
Pays
would be
Me
like a
has all
smart
these like
contract, right?
emergent properties that like if you fix being able to get hacked, then like it turns out, oh, weird. You can also like onboard people into crypto and then like upgrade their security to like self-custody later. And like just these like really weird things I can gift somebody $100 worth of crypto, but they have to create their vault in order to access it. And there's no other way. And there's nobody else who can access their vault except them, because they're the only one with their private key.
Yeah, and your middleman basically would be the trustworthiness of the smart contract, or the trustlessness, I should say, of the smart contract. And so, yeah, escrow, but with a trustless smart contract as the middle guy.
Well, and Time Pays Me, remember, issues you your own copy of the smart contract, and so you don't ever have to worry about like a centralized. You don't ever have to beg for your money.
Do you have tutorial videos, Maddie, on how to do all of these things?
Definitely not.
Definitely not. Okay.
Is this a future thing or a now thing?
I just I invent this stuff and I get it audited, and then I get to look at like what the emergent properties are, and then then we kind of see where it goes from there. But it's confusing when you invent a way. What we were trying to do was to make it so that I wouldn't jeep my pulse chain bags. Okay. Like that's what time pays me was supposed to be, was a way to time lock your pulse chain.
Yeah.
Cool.
And then we accidentally figured out how to undo a hack because we were thinking so long term. And then now it's like, wait, what? Now I can turn the ease of onboarding into something way better. I don't have to have a 2-hour conversation with 1 billion people to get 1 billion people into crypto. What? That's unexpected too. Like what?
Yeah, I like this.
And then I can pay people, but they have to upgrade their security. Or I can see on chain if they've created a recovery address, and I can reward that behavior. Or access token or fire token, or literally any of the million tokens that are on Pulse Chain could incentivize their users to upgrade their security. And that would be really profitable for everybody. That would be a win-win.
So Will, what's going on right here, what Maddie's talking about, is literally conceptual, right? And coming up with the ideas here, hey, we can do this, we can do that, but nothing has actually moved into, okay, we're doing it now, And that's kind
of doing it now.
Oh,
I'm doing it now.
Okay.
Because I'm tired of explaining it, because making a tutorial video isn't gonna cause participation. Participation is caused by people doing something and then experiencing it. And the ultimate thing that people are going to figure out is that you can pay yourself to be motivated to do things. But that's further down the road. First, you have to be motivated by some benefit now. And that would be getting paid to improve your security.
So I got a confession to make, and that's that I'm a selfish bastard, and I want to know how to do these things, but I don't. And so I need a tutorial. So what I want to do, Maddie, if you're okay with it, and using the DGen Roundtable platform, is I would like to make a series of walkthroughs wherein I'm learning how to do these things that you're explaining, because I also like to onboard people, and I don't like spending 2 hours literally sitting there and walking them through. I think if I were to create a video series that is scalable, then I could then teach other people how to onboard using this tool. I think that'd be super awesome. I mostly want it for myself because I'm lazy, and that's also why me and Zenith came up with the little project that we're aiming for here. Is I wanted a way to one button click stake Hex without having to buy the coins, bridge the coins, and then swap for whatever, go and create a stake, and then send the HSI to whatever wallet that I want or whatever. I wanted a one button click thing that would just do all that stuff for me, because at the end of the day, it's literally just a person sitting there with a mouse clicking on a whole bunch of different things on the internet, and I'm sure that could be coded. But yeah. You're talking about, I want it for myself, so oh no! Can you hear me?
For now.
Am I robot version? Or are you just fucking around?
Back.
I'm back?
Making onboarding easier is, it's the, definitely the best. I love that you're thinking that way for Hex.
I'm fucking selfish. That's all I got.
The other half of the project that Will and I were talking about is Will pitched me the idea, and then I was like, oh, cool. So you could almost use this as a Hex gift card. And the idea was that if you have an email address, the person puts in the email address, and then it could be yours, it could be someone else's, and then the HSI is created, and then there's a claim feature to do it. We're talking, it's there's lots of ways to do stuff, especially in the coding world. There's 1,000 ways to skin a cat. You could do something quick and dirty, which is actually use manual operation and moving around, which has its risks. You could do something that's like automated through a smart contract or bots, more automated, less risk, but different risks. Or if you wanted to get real crazy with it, you could start doing all the cryptography stuff to start doing like zero trust proofs, to talk about like who's sending this where, how do I know that the information's not compromised. Like the crypto projects can be as complex as you want to make them, or they can be as quick and dirty as you want them to make them as well.
Absolutely. And yeah, if people are making tutorial videos, that's my greatest dream, is that, you know, I'm not the only one talking about this.
Yeah. This is really fucking cool, bro. I like it. I like it.
And I did a stream with Fast Abdul earlier today on RH Max's stream. And yeah, like he identified a really smart use of Time Pays Me that, you know, that smart people eventually get to with being able to drip yourself LP tokens, because then you're earning yield, and you can, you know, DCA in and out of stuff. So that's pretty cool.
Oh.
That's pretty cool. Do you remember which suit jacket Fast Abdul was wearing today? I know he's got a million.
Yes.
He changed costumes, which was demonstrating a point he was making about security. And yeah, it was such a great stream. I'm gonna have to upload it to my channel later.
I think I saw him streaming with Axis, and he had this like purple suit jacket and a trilby. He had the Jack Nicholson Joker look going on. So
That's
Fast Abdul, the man with the bribes.
Yeah, very fast too. Didn't he?
Well, and his sacrifice is going for another like day. And,
yes, that's coming up
cool.
soon. So if you want to get involved in 2 fucks, like he mentioned on our stream as well, check out the sacrifice before it closes.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen. Well, it seems kind of like we've been kind of beating this up pretty good. So everybody opposed to closing out, eh?
We're about an hour 45, bro. That's good. I love it.
Now I have to go back to work planning the conference.
Hell yeah.
Oh man, that's got to be such a headache for you. I couldn't do it. That's way too much. Like, ugh.
All right, we're gonna do our own conference with blackjack and hookers at some point.
Heck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's funner. All right, so one more round of community.
I'll give you one more really quick thing. So we haven't talked about futureus.win, and that is that's a new thing that really nobody knows anything about, and it's named after the programmer who helped me invent all the cool stuff with timepays.me, and who actually made that a reality. He goes by Future Us, and he used to be on Quant Gang whenever it was me and Kareem and Wales only, and then like, you know, a quarter of the time Future Us would come on and show his face and like, you know, present his ideas. And him and I are like definitely crypto besties and pretty much talk every day. You know, but having access to a genius developer who I've talked to every day for like 3 years has really helped. And so futureus.win is kind of imagining a system of smart contracts that goes beyond what Time Pays Me can do. And just kind of conceptually, you can imagine it would be really cool if there was crowdfunding available in crypto, because that's a really big use case for money outside of crypto that seems like we have versions of it now that people are doing kind of manually. And then another aspect is like in crypto, you can't do refunds, but with smart contracts, you imagine that you could. So those are the couple of hints that that I'll give you of, you know, what could be created in the future.
It looks kind of like an eclipse or like a pulsar sort of thing right there. That's pretty cool. Or is it like 2 hands going like this with like a thing in the middle?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. That's what I was thinking.
I almost think it looks like an eye.
It could be many things.
You in the future.
What's the button to bring up the code for a web page? Is it the tilde?
I want to say it's F12.
I know it's not Alt F4.
It's not F12? I thought it
Is
was
F12.
F12 or F11. It is. Haha.
What are you trying to do right now, Zenith?
Are you screen sharing Zenith? Because I can't read a lot of the stuff that's going on, being as I'm doing 60 right now. What
Forget driving. Forget 60.
Try it again, if you don't mind, Mrs. Producer.
Ooh, we're going through the deets, so you can pull up the code. Zenith, can you read code? Because I can't.
Very poorly. This.
I also
image
can't read
is-
what's on the screen. What does it say?
The image is called cuitf.png. I think that just means see you in the future. Centered image, body. No, this is
Oh,
pretty
this is
basic.
cool. You guys
This is pretty
are
basic
seeing
stuff,
it
to be
live.
honest.
Yeah, still, this is cooler than I've ever done. I've never seen this done before. I always hit the F12 button by accident whenever I'm trying to type something, and I miss the backspace.
Oh, hold on.
And I'm like,
hold on. There's a JSON file in here.
ooh, what's Jason? That's like the guy with the machete in the hockey mask, right?
It's a code file. Okay, there's other website addresses in here, it looks like.
Ooh, is this step one of the treasure hunt? Are we doing
might
it
be.
live?
Maddie's not going to tell us.
No, he won't, but we
Yeah.
can do it anyways.
All right, let's watch me download a virus in real time.
Oh my god. Condom computer.
But it's
There
a
you go.
mind virus that like stops you from getting hacked, right?
There you
That's
go.
cool.
We broke the computer.
Or
Oh, the good
something.
virus, like the stuff in your gut biome.
That's right.
Good bacteria.
Yeah.
Could you back that
So
up?
the-
Probably a
the-
picture of some
the-
kind.
Suspected
the-
scams, i.e.
The next step of the puzzle involves when people get their pulse from the free claim from providing a fresh address, and they go to timepays.me and they create a vault. Then they get to practice with that.
Okay. That's another thing I would like to do is try and create a vault, because I think I tried it before and my poor little peanut brain got confused and I gave up very quickly. And then I was like, man, I don't want to fuck with any of my bags right now and just totally
there's
accidentally
a-
lock something.
Yeah, that's why asking for a fresh wallet address gives people a fresh chance. And then there's a tutorial thread at x.com/timepaysme that will walk
Okay.
you through all the steps of creating a vault yourself.
Fantastic. I'm a big fan of the saying, if it's not taught, it's not learned. And one thing I'm terribly not fond of is fucking everything up. So sweet.
Yeah.
You said time pays me, or x.com/time
Yeah.
pays me.
That's right.
Okay, sweet.
And there
Sweet,
is a test net as well. And the details of that is on the Twitter for Time Pays Me.
Okay.
You can find the
Oh.
audit, you can find the test net, you can find
You can fast forward
the
time, right?
tutorial thread. When you pay your future self, it could be argued that you're bending the fourth dimension.
Well, I thought there was like never mind. I'm thinking maybe of like an ETH sidechain feature or something where it can like, you can do something for like future guessing or whatever. I know that Sloth has the
Oh
thing
yeah,
where you
like a
can,
prediction
guess them.
market. Yeah.
Yeah. I couldn't remember if there was a function that like showed you how to do things like when the vault unlocks or like or things of that nature.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's a lot
Like a
of things
pretend
we
fast
can
forward.
compare it to. But
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Cool.
Hell
Well,
yeah.
thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, for sure, Maddie.
appreciate it.
Always good hanging out with you.
Let's go ahead and just do some quick community shout outs, and then we'll move on to you, unless you have a heart out there, Maddie.
I'm good.
Okay, right on. All right, well, let's go ahead and jump in here. Wild SJ says she appears, and poof, just like a Pokemon. And then we got Hex Meetup, which can utilize passwords. Yep, and that's when we were talking about time pays me and all that. As well as Frank White, Bang Bang Pulse Gang. It's good to see
Hell
you
yeah,
in here.
Frank.
Moon Pilled Rational Optics. It's great to see you in here, brother. And yes, if I had more drink, I would clink to you as well, but I don't. So, alrighty. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up here. Maddie, tell the people where they can find you.
So the pulsechainconference.com, x.com/pulsechainconf. And I'm Matty, MATI, all in on everything.
All in.
Excellent.
Zenith, what's going on? Where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at ZenithDI. That is my personal account. You can reach me on there. Send me messages if you want to collab or anything. And then I also run a meme account called Hexaco Space Force on Instagram, Twitter, and YouTubes. So check that out if you want. And book club coming up 2 days from now on Friday I might actually be during Pulse Chain Conference a little bit. We'll figure that out. Although I know that our panel for the Pulse Chain Conference starts at midnight Eastern Time, the first night, which is Friday, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that's after the F and Hangout. So basically, it's going to be like book club, F and Hangout, and then immediately into, like for us, right, into the Pulse Chain Conference. That's going to be a long
boys
night.
like streaming for 6 hours straight. Oh, and we're also doing Jay's fitness stuff on Friday before now as well. So 8 hours of streaming probably.
Shit. Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we don't have live stream on Fridays. We don't go out.
You've still not said the name of the book, Zenith. I know that it's in the book club Telegram, which the folks can join at DRT Book Club. Or maybe it's DGen Book Club. I don't remember. But what's the book?
It is The Changing World Order by Ray Dalio. This is a recommendation from one of our own, Bradley. So shout out to Bradley. I got your book. It's on the shelf, and it will soon be in my ear holes. So fair warning, This is a bit of a longer read. It's about 16 hours at normal speed. However, I have yet to see if it is a 2 times or a 3 times speed book. So we'll see.
Good God.
Ray Dalio is great. That book is going to rock.
He's got a lot of knowledge.
Looking forward to this one for sure. That is what I got going on. Mr. Will Stevenson's, where can the people find you?
The people can find me in the DGen Roundtable chats if you tag me. Other than you guys can find the DGen Roundtable community at bit.ly/degenerate_roundtable. That's how you guys get into our Telegram. Our Telegram is free for now. Those who join are grandfathered in for the for like after we do the fucking subscription model and things. But if you're in the DGen Roundtable community chat now, then you will be forever in the DGen Roundtable community. You guys can find me all the stuff that I do at Linktree. Oh no, I'm back. I'm back, baby. I'm back and better than ever. So you guys can find all the things that I do, all of my socials, all of my everything at Linktree/Will Stevenson. I want to take a moment to shout out this kick-ass book that me and my brother wrote called The Brothers 2 of Them Cookbook. The Brothers 2 of, I don't know if I could get this. I have to be really careful because I'm driving, but it's The Brothers 2 of Them Cookbook. Zenith, if you wouldn't mind holding yours up to the camera better than I did. But this is the cookbook that my brother and I made. It is a kick-ass cookbook that basically encapsulates our story as iron workers traveling across the states and cooking a whole bunch of manly man meals and doing some awesome things. And yeah, it's a very, very complicated cookbook with super detailed and very, very convoluted instructions that are really hard to follow. And if you have to use this cookbook in order to learn how to cook, then this cookbook is probably not for you. You guys should not buy it. Just kidding. There's only 50 of them, right? So if you guys want a cookbook, then go to go to t.me/Will Stevenson with the W and the S capitalized, or you can go to my Linktree/Will Stevenson, no capitalizations in there. Linktree/Will Stevenson or Linktree/Samuel D. Stevenson. No spaces, no punctuation, no nothing in either one of those. Find up any of our social media. It's easier to reach me. Hit me up on Facebook, hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on Instagram. Hell, I like my personal favorite is Telegram, so that's the best way to get a hold of me. If you guys want to buy one of these cookbooks, it's $10. We're selling them at cost. If you want me to hand deliver it, I will hand deliver it to you. I can't guarantee it will be done in a fashionable timeline, but I can say that I will come to you. I have to go to Australia. I have to go to the Northeast. I have to go to Washington. I have to go to Wyoming. There's many places that I have to go. So I will eventually get this book to you. I'm not sure how many passports I'm going to need to apply to. And so it might take some years or whatever. But if you guys want the book shipped, I can also ship it to you. And just I'll probably say, $30 total for that. And then whatever is left over from the shipping fee, I'll just send it back to you. But again, just reach out to me on any of the social medias that I'm on that you can find at linktree/Will Stevenson. And that's the best way to secure one of these fantastic Brothers 2 of them cookbooks. There are only 50 of them. There will only ever be 50 of them. So they're all serialized, and yeah, we're not printing anymore. So have fun with that.
I can confirm that these are some of the cookbooks of all time.
Thank you, sir.
Oh no,
I appreciate it. And if you guys do have a cookbook, don't give away the special magical sauce of all the super cool secret ingredients and recipes and fun that's inside this cookbook. We had a hell of a time writing it. Sam and I did a large portion of writing this cookbook while driving. So that was interesting. But anyways, other than that, the final thing that I want to shout out is my Hex Meetup chat, which is t.me/Hex_Meetup. If you guys are Hexicans and you want to meet other Hexicans and you don't know how to reach out and find Hexicans, well, then you should go to either Matty ALLin's or my Hex Meetup channels. Matty ALLin's does not have an underscore in it. It's just Hex. It's t.me/Hex Meetup. Mine's got an underscore. And there's probably someone out there who's got an S at the end of it or something like that. But anyways, that's how you get into the Hex Meetup chats. The one that I run is essentially just a super duper, I don't want to say it's decentralized because that's the place where you go to find other Hexicans. But the idea is I want to enable people to go and organize their own meetups without having to wait for Matty ALLin to put on a conference, without having to wait for me, swing through one of the states, without having to wait for, KSB TV or Wild SJ or RG3 to set up their own professional meeting. You guys can go out and organize your own little meetups by hopping into this Telegram. I've made a shit ton of topics, a shit ton of rooms that are just a whole bunch of different states within the United States. Anybody can make a topic, by the way. If you guys want to hop in there and make your own topic for whatever geographic location you're in, that'd be kick-ass too. But you guys go in there, you give awesome. A little introduction if you want. Yeah, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. And I might try shilling it in your Hex Meetup thing too here in the in your Telegram room if you'd allow it.
Please do, because that's part of what made Bitcoin great was people like you creating meetups.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And then also on the flip side of that, when you guys want to go do the professional thing, you guys need to check out what Matty ALLin's doing with the Hex conference, the Pulse Chain conference, the IRLs, all that stuff. That's the small scale stuff is important just as much as the big scale stuff. So we just recently had we've had a meetup over in Texas. They've had a meetup over in California. There's some guys down in Australia that are working some details out. I had Paul Sachs actually just recently hosted, or he didn't host, but I was swinging through Missouri. And Missouri, and Paul Sachs was kind enough to reach out to a whole bunch of the local Hexicans and invite them all together. We had a great time over there. It was super duper fun and kick ass. I can't recommend it enough, guys. You need to go out there and meet other crypto people. Hell, you don't even have to really be a Hexican. You could just be a person who likes other cool people. But going out and meeting real people in the flesh is that's the coolest thing ever. So I highly recommend
that is one of the better things to do. And I know you've had a bunch of those meetups too, and every single time you're sending out pictures and stuff with an extreme amount of smile. Even little videos and stuff. But with that being said, we do need to exit here. So,
sure thing. That's all I got.
Yes, for sure. Thank you everybody for watching us. This has been the DJ Roundtable, and thank you very much, Matty, for coming on. I do really appreciate it. We always love having you. And I like I said, I swear you're doing the most amount, probably the busiest guy in all Pulse Chain right now. So hats off to you if I had a hat. But other than that, I am just going to go ahead and cut us loose here and say, degen responsibly.
Peace.